I said it on game plan. Yeah. People attacked me and said, why?
Yeah.
Where is your position right now? This is what it is.
My position remains the same as 2 weeks ago. And my position was that I think Liverpool were going to win it if they won all their games, and I thought they were capable. But the caveat here was that in the 3-horse race, it's a City as well who is also very likely to win all their games. And if Liverpool sleeps, it will be for City to win and not Arsenal to take advantage of. So my position on how the dynamics are playing now still remains the same. And now that Liverpool have dropped these points and City have gone on to pick these points and Arsenal also dropped it, for me it's City. Because I thought... I said
to my corner now.
I have not. No, you didn't listen to what I said.
No, I get it. I get you. Yes. But I'm saying that...
But now, so I'm back
2 weeks ago, yes, exactly.
I'm back to your fold now.
Exactly. So I'm saying 2 weeks ago, you weren't setting. You just knew
Liverpool would win all games.
Exactly. And then you said, obviously, if they slipped, City would take advantage. They have slipped, and you think that City have taken full advantage.
They'll win all the rest.
And from now on,
they'll destroy everybody.
There is no looking back.
They will destroy everybody.
Danny K.
Destroy everything.
The prophets saw that it was going to be tricky. But in the realm...
Do you know what that is? That's what happens in churches when a visiting pastor or prophet comes to the church.
That's how they sit. When the others are preaching. Before the person the visiting pastor is always quiet. That's right. What have you seen in the realm? Because at the moment, the prophecy is shaky.
I'm losing your ministry.
These are trying times. But what is spirituality without tribulation? Correct?
You see, the beauty about the Lord our God is that, no, it's true. God doesn't thrive in the obvious. He doesn't. When he told Abraham that he will have a son, the guy passed 80. He passed 90. People were mocking him. And then he eventually had a son. That's not the obvious.
So God does the impossible.
When God said it was going to rain, and he told Noah it was going to rain, he should build an ark. It was a dry season.
That's right.
It wasn't rainy season. No. At that time, there was no global warming. So there was no surprises.
No surprise rain.
The climate was clear.
It was
dry season is dry season.
It was dry season.
The people say it's not possible.
They were mocking Noah. And then it rained. And it rained for 1 day. It rained for 40 days.
That's right. 40 days and 40 nights.
And 40 nights. I have seen...
What about Noah?
I have seen...
That's right.
Martin Odeegard taking the trophy and lifting it on the 20th anniversary of the Invincibles. And you see, for me, this weekend, I was really... it was funny.
Did you see this result in the realm?
Spiritually, I saw it before the game. No, I saw it, and there's proof.
This guy.
You see,
you said Aston Villa are so poor away from home. Yeah, so this is not a game that they are going to win. Arsenal blows them apart.
That was logical analysis.
Yes. You combine logic with the spirit.
Before the game.
And came to the conclusion they would win.
I tweeted something.
What did you say?
As soon as the Arsenal lineup dropped, I said I didn't like that Arsenal lineup.
Oh, lineup.
There was something that looked off about it. Tactically and spiritually, the two of them were not married.
Somebody's working at Arteta.
There's something wrong somewhere. But I also...
the overthinking spirits.
And you can understand why he's overthinking.
Yeah.
He's getting nervous. So some of these things happen. But for me, I'm happy it's happened with 6 games to go rather than with 2 games to go. Okay. Fact is, there are still 6 games to go, guys. City have matches to play, Liverpool have matches to play, Arsenal have matches to play. This mistake, this loss for Arsenal, and this is the differentiating factor. In seasons past, we saw a team that just couldn't live up to the occasion and ended up crumbling. This time around, there was a tactical error. It wasn't about the players not showing up. It was about Arteta making a mistake in his tactics and Unai Emery capitalizing.
You've always known that Arteta has a mistake or two in him.
That's for inexperienced managers. I didn't expect him to make it at this point in the season because, honestly, I believe that, and from what I've seen this season, I think he's learned a lot and he's grown a lot. But unfortunately, it looks like something ticked.
What was the mistake?
Bringing Havertz back into midfield. first 2 months of the season, in fact, when you guys were going out about Havertz not doing well,
like
not
midfielder, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, that experiment wasn't working, and he had to put Havertz in a position where he would thrive. And we've seen it from 2024, from January 1 till now. Havertz has been playing in that false 9 position, which allows Odeegard to thrive in the zone that he wants to. Havertz is very intelligent with drifting wide, creating spaces for his teammates and also getting on the end of chances. Then he brings Havertz back into midfield. Now, what that does is that now you have 2 number 8s who off the ball are not as good as when you have somebody like Jorginho and then Rice playing in that midfield. There's a bit more compactness, there's a bit more steel. And especially in terms of transitions, it gives you some surety knowing that even in transitions, you have guys who can recover. But when Havertz plays in that role, now he's fighting with Odeegard in the same zone. Offensively, yes, his late runs into the box, and which you saw in the first half, his late runs into the box was working. They were working. But it's just about the opposition adapting. And when you consider the manager Arsenal were facing in Unai Emery, you just knew he would react. And what did he do in the second half? He withdrew McGinn to be like an extra centre-back. So McGinn was basically waiting for the run of Havertz. So Havertz moving out of his zone into the Villa defensive third, he was covered, and he was now basically leaving a huge gap in the midfield for Arsenal. When you look at the midfield guys for Aston Villa, they are more likely to win their 50-50 duels, very combative. So that's where Arsenal were basically lacking a man in midfield, and that allowed Aston Villa to completely dominate that second half. And I thought after about 5-10 minutes into the second half, Arteta should have quickly changed it. There was Jorginho, there was Partey. And this is what we spoke about at the start of the season, the fact that now he has options. Now there's no excuse. You can look at your bench and quickly make a tactical switch and rectify the situation. Strangely enough, he didn't. And when he did, he made some really strange substitutions. It was a like-for-like change. Emo Smith-Rowe coming from Martin Odeegard. Smith-Rowe, who is not on form. And then he also brought in Jorginho for...
In place of Jesus.
In place of Jesus. Then he brought on Tomiyasu. At that point in time, it was a bit too stale, because if you send Havertz forward, then you need somebody who can create. And Odeegard is that guy who can create, and unfortunately it didn't work.
I feel sorry for Mikel Arteta a little bit. Listen, I was with you. When I saw the lineup, I thought, no, don't do this. But to be fair to Arsenal and to Arteta, in the first half, that did work. Yeah. And I'm thinking is, when you look at Aston Villa and Spurs, they are the 2 teams who play the highest lines in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Now, if your striker is going to start the run from the striker's position, he's most often than not going to be off, because they're incredibly good. So Gabriel Jesus was almost like the bait for the offside line, and then the runs were coming from Kai Havertz. So, and Aston Villa's line was very high in that first half. And Arsenal, when they dictated the play, Zinchenko would spin balls in behind the line for Havertz to run onto. We saw about 3-4 scenarios. Arsenal just didn't make the right decisions in the end. And it's almost like the City game where they drew goalless, where people were happy with the draw. But I said it here, that I thought they had better scenarios to win the game. In that first half, Arsenal could have won by 2 goals to none in that first half. Jesus not making the right decisions, Havertz getting in some positions and not making the most of it. So Arteta's thinking maybe then was to get the late, because one of the most difficult things to track in football are always late runners coming from deep. They are always breaking those offside traps, and Arsenal did that. But Unai Emery, credit to him, in that second half, that whole Aston Villa high line stopped. They stepped back. So Arsenal couldn't play, not once, not even twice, play in behind that Aston Villa back line. But what he also did was, because Zinchenko was inventing so much, and Moussa Diaby wasn't having a great day, then Bailey came on, and it was a different ball game altogether. But my thinking is, why would Arteta try to change something that is not broken? Because I get the thinking in what he tried to do, but I still think he could have beaten Aston Villa by doing what he's consistently done over that has worked to perfection over the last 3 months or so. So I think you look back on them, these are some of the mistakes people were saying, in an experienced manager, trying to overthink and what have you. And in the end, losing this fixture at the Emirates has just handed City maybe the pass.
So, as far as Daniel is concerned, he thinks that, yes, this was a blip, and a big one at that, but there's still confidence that Arsenal could go ahead and win the league.